Hi, welcome to our broadcast. I am Carrie Petty with RE/MAX Central, #1 office in the world. Thank you so much for joining us at our Lunch and Learn webinar. So I just wanted to give you a brief update. This is part of a 15 event series, and this is #2. We are celebrating my 15 years as a realtor with RE/MAX, and this webinar being the second event. We're hoping to have everybody join us in donating to my charity of choice, which is Children's Miracle Network. So at the end of each event, you'll actually have a link if you choose to donate to go through, which would be awesome. I truly appreciate it. So we're here to discuss 5 reasons to buy in 2016. I can't talk enough about this to my clients currently about the marketplace and why we should be buying this year. So as you've all heard, we talk about it all the time, you've heard on the news, the market conditions throughout Alberta, especially in Calgary today. This is why we wanted to host this webinar, is that you can find out hopefully some more knowledgeable information from us on moving forward with a purchase. So we want to continue the ongoing discussions and talk about taking advantage of the current conditions. So whether you're a first-time buyer, whether you're an investor, whether you're a seasoned home buyer and wanting to upgrade. So on that note, I want to introduce my guest today, which is Crystal Webster from Royal Bank. Between the two of us, Crystal and I have 30 years experience in residential sales. So welcome, Crystal.
Thank you.
One thing we want to talk about, which is the most important step in any purchase, is getting pre-approved. So if you can give us some information about the pre-approval process.
Absolutely. There's a lot of reasons to get pre-approved on the onset, right at the very beginning stages of considering to buy a home. And first and foremost, you want to know what your limits are. You want to understand what that mortgage is going to look like for you. And it also helps Carrie or your real estate agent make sure that they're showing you the right type of properties and at the right price point for you. At the pre-approval, we will go through all your income, all your debts, and we will determine not only how much you qualify for, but you will likely have in mind what sort of budget is comfortable for you.
Right.
And it's just going to give you so much more information and knowledge walking into that home buying process.
Right, which we all appreciate when we're out there.
Absolutely. It just allows you to feel more comfortable throughout the whole process.
Right.
Another key reason to get pre-approved, I'm going to touch more on interest rates in a moment, but it also guarantees an interest rate for you. So if you start the application process with me today, your interest rate would be guaranteed for you if they start going up tomorrow. So it does give you some peace of mind and comfort in a situation where rates may, in fact, start going up.
So typically, how long do you give a pre-approval for?
It can vary from bank to bank, so it's a great question to ask any lender that you speak to. At RBC, we will guarantee an interest rate for 120 days, so 4 months, for any resale properties.
Is this typically given to my buyers in a written format, or?
Absolutely. So at RBC, we believe very strongly in getting all our documents up front so that when you find that home, we are ready and prepared to go and eliminate any surprises as much as possible.
Great.
So we will go through your documents, go through the credit checks, and I will provide you a letter stating your rate, your payments, and how long that rate is committed to you for.
Perfect. So this really brings us into the topic that you touched a bit about briefly, is low interest rates. This is our #1 reason to buy in 2016.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of detail about rates, but really important thing to know is that rates are amazing right now. We're basically at historical lows. Any term you choose is going to be under 3%. You'll have a lot of options on the table out there. You can consider variable rates. You can consider fixed rates. A lot of first-time buyers are looking at long-term fixed rates just because they are really low.
Right.
Forecast-wise, there's nowhere for them to go but up, is the reality of it.
Right.
Will we see some small fluctuations as we go? Probably. There's a small possibility that our short-term rates go down a tiny bit. Not sure about that, but we definitely anticipate that over the long run, over the next year to 2 years, we will start to see a trend upward in all of our rates.
At all typical to see rates change or fluctuate, increase or decrease in the spring?
I don't know that it's necessarily tied to the timing of the market. However, it is a great time to buy. for the reason that our spring market is when it's the busiest, most active, and the banks are really eager to win your business.
Right.
So what you'll find out there is a lot of competition between lenders, some special promotions, some great pricing. So from that perspective, it is definitely a great time to buy.
So just to touch a bit on that comment about the different banks and offerings or promotions that you can go through any bank, why would somebody choose RBC?
Yeah, it's a great question and one that I often get. Basically, RBC holds the largest mortgage market share. So with that being said, you can have peace of mind knowing that we have to be competitive on rate. Our product and features and benefits are extremely strong compared to our competitors. Sure. And there's advantages to building that relationship with the bank you deal with that go beyond just your mortgage product.
So it touches really again about having some long-term names behind our organizations, whether it's RBC or with RE/MAX.
Absolutely.
So let's just go into a slide we have here just to give you a visual on interest rates. And I know a lot of times people need to see in writing,
absolutely,
as people go from your office to mine, what it looks like on paper.
Yeah, so what we wanted to illustrate is if rates go up, what does that actually mean to you? So we took the average purchase price in Calgary right now being $453,000, assuming a down payment of 5% down. And our 5-year fixed rate, my best rate right now is 2.84% on that term. Over 25 years, that will generate a monthly payment of $2,073.50.
Right.
So if that's what you're counting on and qualifying based on, what happens if you don't buy now and you look at this a year from now and maybe rates have gone up and now they're 4%?
Right.
So it's a very significant impact. That monthly payment for that exact same property is now $2,345.23. So it's cost you an extra $271 a month. Right. And when you look at a monthly cash flow, whether you're looking at investment property or your primary residence, that's a significant change for you.
Absolutely.
And not only is that a change on your budget, but it also impacts how much you qualify for. Right. So I might tell you today you qualify for this $453,000 house. Next year that might be $430,000.
Right.
So it's a really important consideration if you're looking at buying.
So again, this whole process is to just reiterate how important it is to get something in writing from your lender, your pre-approval in writing.
Absolutely.
So we can know going out with full confidence that this is what we're going to be paying over a certain term. Obviously, everybody's threshold is different, whether they want to be in a 3-year, 2-year, 5-year fixed. So until you sit down with everybody,
absolutely,
one-on-one, you're not going to know where that lies.
And the key is you want to get that financial advice. So we want to sit down with you and make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into, and it just makes you feel more comfortable through the process.
Especially in a busy buyer's market.
Absolutely.
Right? When we get out there, we want to know that we've got that confidence behind us, that we can actually put pen to paper and know where we stand. Okay, great. Thanks, Crystal. So basically, what we want to take a look at next from this interest rates into our high inventory levels. So right now, you're seeing a 5% increase in our inventory levels from January 2015 to January 2016, 4.8% increase. This means that obviously we have more active listings on the market today, and we will see an increase as we hit our spring market. This is typical for us to see most activity take place through spring, April, May, June. So these numbers will grow.
And why is that actually important as a buyer?
Well, definitely you're going to have more motivation between the sellers as the inventory numbers grow. So as a buyer, you're going to have a lot more selection to choose from. We're going to have a lot more to see, and obviously details in your parameters are going to be important, and we'll be able to get out and take a look at those on the open market. So we want to be a lot more selective as this inventory grows. We'll be able to pinpoint exactly what our buyers need. Of course, higher inventory generally means we're going to have longer days on market. You're going to see properties sitting, as you can see on this next slide, a lot longer. So right now, as you look at this, this represents a 21% increase from last year at the same time in January. We do anticipate that that will continue to grow. So one other thing I want you to pay attention to on this slide is the benchmark price. The benchmark price from last year to this year is also down. I'm not sure if you can read the details on there, but regardless of whether you're looking at condos, detached homes, or attached properties, that number is lower right now versus last year.
And so why is this also important?
Well, the longer this property sits on a market on the MLS system, along with the increased inventory that we're going to see coming up in the spring, again, it's going to create more pressure. The sellers are going to feel the need to be a lot more aggressive,
right,
on their pricing, and negotiations if they get an offer on their plate.
Right.
So this leads us into the reason number 3 to buy in 2016, which is reduced prices. So as you can see on the next graph, this reflects inventory gains along with fewer sales since August 2015. And that's really, last year, that's really where we saw the shift leaning towards a strong buyer's market. So as you can see on that graph, it was going into a downward location, making it more beneficial for the buyers.
For sure.
So we've been talking about this since last summer as we saw this shift go. And now it's even more important. Let's get people out there. Let's get people to buy. There's incredible deals. A really good reason to get out there and buy is, let's just step back a moment. Back in 2013, 2014, we had great, strong markets. As you remember, we had lots of people approved. We were out there shopping. Things were crazy busy. And then, of course, as things changed, and we saw, according to this graph, our economic situation changed, oil changed, Calgary's market has changed, and now we're into the buyer's side. There's a lot of sellers that find themselves in situations that are unfortunate, and it's a tough time. So we want these people to get out. We want them to buy and purchase quickly this year, hopefully without any changes to the interest rates.
Yeah.
So this takes us into our next reason. 4th reason to buy is negotiating power. So all the reasons that we have discussed up to now, this is truly important. As a buyer today, you have, again, strong negotiating power. We haven't seen that in the last few years, so it's really important. With the low interest rates that we talked about, with the high inventory that we have, and increasing into the spring market, and reduced prices that we're going to continue to see, it's a great time to negotiate.
Absolutely.
So we're going to the table now with buyers wanting to ask for everything, whether it's possession dates, inclusions, terms, purchase prices. We've got that negotiating. Sellers are feeling, obviously, the adjustment. They're having to be a little more open-minded today versus the last couple of years. So this is great. So take a look at the CREB forecast.
So, Carrie, what do you think the rest of 2016 will actually hold for us?
We had our annual CREB forecast last month in January, and basically the Calgary Real Estate Board had pointed out a few good notes. This is the first one here. The impact of low oil prices in Calgary is affecting the economy. This will continue to overshadow our resale housing activity.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Absolutely. The next slide is going to just talk about the total sales activity. We do expect this to continue to fall, unfortunately. While the levels of our inventories increase and new listings, of course, coming on daily, this creates a downward pressure on our pricing. If we take a look at the 3rd slide here from the CREB forecast, I think we can all agree, based on what we've talked about, what we've seen, what we're going to continue to see, is 2016 will be a strong buyer's market.
Right.
So we need folks to get out there. We need them to put pen to paper, take advantage of the great timing. So the 5th reason to buy, our 5th and final reason in 2016, is obviously with experienced professionals. This is going to help assist greatly for anybody that's out there buying. Even if it's your first time, you haven't been part of a buyer's market, you need some knowledgeable professionals behind you. So having both Crystal and I on your team to help is going to create confidence in your purchase. So Crystal, give us a little bit of a informational point on you.
Well, I worked with RBC since 1996 as a mortgage specialist since 99. Carrie and I have worked together almost from my onset, or when she came to Calgary and started, in 2004. Mm-hmm. So we definitely have a great dynamic and know how to help our buyers get into the right position to buy the right home. I've been in the business a long time. I don't think you could stump me on a transaction or a personal situation. So just a lot of confidence in the people that you're working for is important throughout this process.
Absolutely. So as you can see from this slide, what we've closed, what we've done, what we've helped clients do with the RE/MAX organization, that's the only company brokerage that I have worked for. I have many levels of awards behind me throughout the 15 years, which I'm very proud to say, between platinum level, the Hall of Fame, and then recently I just received my Lifetime Achievement Award, which was great. So through 15 years or 30 years between combined, Crystal and I, we can provide you with that high level of service and dedication. So we do hope that you'll call either one of us or both of us to help you with your purchase this year in 2016. So with that, we want to offer you our free ebook, and this is going to relate to the 5 critical reasons to buy. So for all you buyers out there, we'll send you one of these ebooks. Please take a look, review. If you have any questions, there's going to be a Q&A session here at the end, and you can ask Crystal or I any information that you feel necessary, or get a hold of us. The website, our emails, everything has been provided on the webinar. Do we have any questions? Is there anybody out there that needs any answers to anything that you've seen today? Crystal, it's great having you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was, it's nice to work with somebody who's got that background, who's got the history, who's got the confidence. So I hope that all my buyers will get on board and we can help everybody out this year.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks so much.